15 things parents did in the 1950s. 1. They prioritized each other. In the 1950s, children weren't the center of the family. Marriage was the central relationship. When parents talked to each other, the kids had to wait. 2. They trusted their children. Many of our children today are too insecure. It's because of their parents' hypervigilance. Kids in the 1950s were more self-assured and responsible. Parents trusted in their abilities to make decisions. 3. They taught manners. Parents in the 1950s required politeness from their kids. Their children would never say, "I want," and they would never forget to say please and thank you. 4. They kept it simple. 1950s parents didn't indulge their kids' whims. They didn't inundate them with things. The kids learned to be grateful for what they had. They took great care of their things. 5. They made kids play outside. Parents didn't plan their kids' activities. The children learned how to entertain themselves. In the streets, the kids weren't supervised. They would get all kinds of bumps and bruises. They could walk anywhere, all by themselves. For example, they could spend the day at the community pool. The only rule was to get home before the street lights came on. 6. They had family dinners. Sitting down to eat dinner as a family was an expectation. Dinner was a time to talk about your day. It was an important and valued daily ritual. 7. They hosted birthday parties at home. A 1950s birthday party was simple. There was a homemade cake, candles, and some games. 8. They made their kids do chores. Kids had chores by the time they were in first grade. They did dishes, set the table, and made their bed every day. Kids learned to use the stove and oven pretty early. They could cook by the time they were 10. They also did laundry and cleaned the house. At 13, they did everything their parents did. The boys mowed the lawn and helped maintain the family car. 9. They didn't push academics. Kids learned everything at school. Most of them didn't know their ABCs before first grade. 10. They allowed for failure. Parents prepared their kids for the real world. They let them see the consequences of their actions. If their kid wasn't the best, it wasn't a tragedy. 11. They disciplined each other's children. Parents were much more involved in their communities. Kids were accountable to more adults. Any adult was allowed to discipline them. 12. They sent their kids to the store with a note. Kids were sent to the corner store on occasion. They pick up special groceries for the parents. Sometimes they even brought cigarettes. 13. They gave their kids the garden hose and attended. Parents didn't care about bottled water. Kids were drinking water straight from the hose. 14. They let their kids ride in the back of the car. There weren't always seat belts in the car. Kids would slide around in the seat at every sharp turn, or they sat on their father's lap while he drove. 15. They sent their kids to school with baked goods. Mothers would bake cupcakes for birthdays or bake sales. They never had to worry about allergies or gluten.